we're going to see a client we've done some work for back in the summer. They're really nice people, and they're retired, and they're so nice and so pleasant. They're literally a joy to work for, and they do want some more work done around the back eventually, but in the meantime they've had a little play area put in for their grandchildren, and they've attempted to do some work there to make it a little bit more easy for the grandchildren themselves, but they found it difficult to do. So they phone me now, and they phone me now on the Christmas period, because they know how active I am and how reliable I am. And when you build that sort of confidence in clients, you know that you're on the right road. It's so important that to recognise that, and when you have those moments, embrace it, and work with it. It's a great thing. So be available, and not too available. It'll come at a cost, and they know that, but they know they can trust me. I've given in to Reese, and I don't mean sexually. Reese was angry, and he wanted a cheeseburger, and nothing wrong with a cheeseburger, it's moderation. That's what makes you healthy. Can't stop it all the bad stuff, the so-called bad stuff. It's just a burger, isn't it? But it's when you're having burgers every day, several times a day, and you end up with a great big fat ass. And if you've got a fat ass, that's fine, but you will die early. We all could die. We're all gonna die. But come on, just excuse me. Just ease up. That's a thumbs up. That means this is good. If you look, come closely, come here now, right? What you'll be able to see now, right? Come closer, come closer, come closer. What you can see now, if you can hear me now, you can see the green moss in there now. What I've done, I've washed it out here. That's what needs to come out. Because what happens is that moss is going to build up, get bigger and bigger, and when we have freezing weather, it's going to expand, and it's going to create all these little divots that you can actually see, the darker areas in the tarmac. So it's so important to, as I said, little and often clean out. You can use chemicals to put on the drive, and that will reduce it. But what you're best off doing with a not too heavy pressure washer, so about 180 psi, that's going to get off. But do it regular, and it's not so much, and then there will be less damage caused. So cleaning the van out, it's so important to keep the van clean, and it's going to get damp with all the tools that we put in there, and when we go in from various different jobs, and we have to put a bit of mud on and all this sort of thing, and we can't get down the tip, we don't get a skip, so these things happen. But it's so important that you make sure that at some point clean your van out. It's so important. Got everything on the drive there at the moment. What we tend to do, you get a lot of condensation in transit vans this time of year, so we're going to try and make sure that we have nice waterproof boxes for any electrical tools. Last year I did a video on how to remove moss from driveways, and there are a lot of chemical products that you can actually use to get the moss off. And moss is an algae, it's going to grow, it needs light to grow in dark areas, and you'll get it everywhere. And what it does, it'll start eating into your tarmac, and it'll really compromise it and start taking away. So the most important thing is what happens is when it grows and it freezes it at this time of the year, it expands, and you get that thawing expansion effect going on, and it's going to start cracking all the top of your tarmac, and it just looks unsightly. It's going to get worse and so forth. So what I try and do regular, I pressure wash it off when it's at its lowest point, little and often. All right, that's the key, little and often. And if you do that the same with maintenance for the van, little and often, it's not such a big deal then to get it clean. Got everything out now. Going to wash it down on the back, and it's going to let it dry out, and then we get everything loaded back on. And it's the same with the driveway, little and often. It's like good food, isn't it? And exercise, little and often, which is important. come to that time again where I have to teach some lessons, and one of the lessons that we're teaching today is please don't leave your shoes and your clothes in the van. If it's wet, take it out, dry it. It makes everything damp, it makes electricity damp, electrical cables rather, in the van, and it just causes condensation in the van. It's not good, and people don't really care about their clothes. If they don't care about their clothes, why should I? I'm not going to dress them. So as a result of it, shoes, jackets. We have a pair of shoes. We did this once before, Reece and I. This is Josh's shoe that he's left in the van. I don't care if they're expensive or even cheap. He will learn even if he finishes. So there you go. There we are, shoes. Let's hope there's a lesson. We'll leave those burn now and we'll enjoy this glowing image. Don't know what to say really. I have a linear eco drainage system along the threshold of my garage, and for the last couple of years it's always blocked up, and I've always kept it clean. We've always pressure washed it down, and like you, we were probably pressure washing a little bit of rubbish down, but we always rodded it as well. I know where the manhole is over that side. We've located the pipe that comes this way, and along the front of the house here there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 down pipes, and I was always taught that you should always have rodding access at the end of a line. And if you look here, if you come a little bit closer, Reece, for the viewers, look down. If you can pan down here now, what they've done here, it's on a bend and it's just going that way and it's just picking up there. It's not how drainage should be done, and what they should have done here, they've got an inspection chamber in over here for the stormwater, for the foul system, but for the stormwater they haven't got nothing at all. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut this pipe back here, put a 45 on it there because it's at a right angle. We'll put a 45 there, a 45 here, and we'll put a small inspection chamber in the middle, okay? Just a small 300 ones, and they're okay, it'd be fine within the lawn as long as it's done right. But what it will allow me now is to have rodding access all the time, and I wouldn't be able to rod from one side, but unfortunately when it comes to here it stops, and we think there's a blockage in there, so we're going to have to cut over here, cut here, expose it today, see if we can get the block out, and unfortunately well, we might be able to go and get a chamber tomorrow. Yeah. I'm going to solve this problem once and for all. I'm going to create rodding access which should have been put in here in the first place. So we're picking up a point over there. That's the main run. We've got one to the left, we've got one to the right. But because you've got an existing pipe run, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to use a slip collar. So you slide back and then slide back over. Let's see how we get on. It's completed. This is the inspection chamber that they needed. It's a long run, it's not a short run. You've probably got about 10 metres that way, and you've got probably about 8 metres that way. And it had this pipe coming in on it, this pipe from over here behind me coming in, and a pipe that's picking up the eco linear drainage system at the front of the garage. And there was no rodding access, but now we've achieved that. It's done. It's as simple as that. And if they've done this now, when I'm washing down in the future and keeping my drive nice and clean and washing all the moss off it, making sure that the moss doesn't ingress into the tarmac, I can do that on a regular basis now, knowing that if it does block, I've got rodding access. That's it, it's as simple as that. One of the most important things when you're doing drainage, and especially with domestic 4-inch, you've got to make sure that the pipe bedding is underneath the pipe, because what you don't want is the pipes sagging and water holding. It's not so bad with storm, but you don't want it. It's so important. Get it correct, get a decent fall on it, but get it running from A to B, no sagging in it. And that's why we use the pipe bedding. Years ago, I mean 35 years ago, I remember using pea gravel, and pea gravel's become a decorative stone now, and they don't use it so much, but it is the ideal pipe bedding to use because it's river eroded, it's round, These are limestone chimneys. It allows the water to go through, but it's just a cheaper option. Right, I'm going to get it cleared up. I'm going to get this vlog out, and I'll see you soon.